said you're joking, and then you weren't joking. So which is it? Which side are you on?
Well, I mean, hopefully after this, I'm done answering these
Good. Let's clear it up for good. You never have to be asked again.
Clear it up for good. I mean, people are gonna ask me regardless, but I think the like what you say and what you do and how you mean it. At the time, I was like huge into conspiracies. Everybody's been there. Everybody's been there. Like, yo, what's going on with our world? You know, like you click a YouTube click and it goes like how deep the rabbit hole goes. It's like, yo, you start telling all your friends like, yo, did you see that? Did you watch this video? I'm telling you. And it was, at the time it was like, you're like innocent in it, but you realize the effect of the power of voice, and even if you believe in that, it's like you're like, well, don't come out and say that stuff. That's for intimate conversations, because perception, how you're received, it just changes. Like, no, I'm actually a smart-ass individual. Like, no, it's just like, so it's not like I was just coming out and saying that. So it was like at the time, just didn't realize the effect, and I was definitely at that time like, I'm a big conspiracy theorist. You can't tell me anything. Right. So yeah, I'm sorry about all that. For all the science teachers, everybody coming up to me like, I gotta reteach my whole curriculum. I'm sorry. I apologize. I apologize.
Kyrie Irving apologized for his flat earth conspiracy theory remarks from last season at an event yesterday. Take a listen. I thought this was very cool from Kyrie. Listen, it's good.
It changes, like, no, I'm actually a smart individual. Like, no, it's just like, so it's not like I was just coming out and saying that. So it was like at the time, just didn't realize the effect, and I was definitely at that time like, I'm a big conspiracy theorist. You can't tell me anything. Right. So yeah, I'm sorry about all that, for all the science teachers, everybody coming up to me like, I gotta reteach my whole curriculum. I'm sorry. I apologize.
There's a great...
You don't have to apologize.
First, okay, we're going to get to you. There was a great moment a little bit before that clip where he was just like, you've all been there. You've all been into conspiracy rabbit holes on YouTube. I thought it was very funny. I liked how human he was in that moment. I liked that he apologized. Shout out to science teachers. All right, Paul.
Why apologize when the earth is flat?
Paul Pierce.
Everybody knows this. Everyone knows this.
Everyone does not know.
It takes me...
We live in a time where people
the earth is flat.
That the truth is
if
not
I
the
get on
truth
an airplane
Can you please
and
show
I
him
fly across the country, if the earth is spinning, it shouldn't take me that long, right? It shouldn't take me 12 hours to fly to China if the earth is spinning. I should go straight up in the air, and if the earth is moving on its axis, I should just land in China.
Let me ask you a question. I'm going to indulge this. How long? How long? And a day is 24 hours, right?
A day, so we say.
How long do you think it takes to go from day to night? About 12 hours?
If I take off, I should be able to get to Russia in 1 hour if the earth is moving 1,000 miles per hour.
Look, producer Danny is moving on without you. This is our League Pass game of the night. We will educate Paul after the show. Grizzlies, Rockets, and do not start with your little balled up piece of paper.
I expect Melo to shoot every time.
Right, exactly. Shoot the earth. What are you doing over there? You're not helping me? The truth is the truth. You cannot go around saying things that are facts or opinions. They are not opinions. Science is a fact. You don't get to weigh in on this. Thank you, Lee Paul. We will be here all week on ESPN. High Noon is next.
I have an opportunity to talk to somebody that's very well knowledgeable in that industry. One, to express apologies and obviously regret of how this all kind of happened. But again, the learning experience for me in terms of where hopefully I'll have that experience at the Lunar Labs and all that type of stuff would be dope. But hopefully this all gets behind us, because it's very, it is what it is.
I think we're fair.
That sounds good. But just so that people understand the background, obviously there's been a lot of conversations and reaction to a podcast that I was on about 2 weeks ago, where we were having a kind of a just impromptu conversation, and it started to go down into some conspiracies, and I made a comment about the moon landing. It was a very unfortunate situation for me because it's a comment that was made in jest and not to be taken seriously. But the headlines and the reaction kind of took a life of its own. And quite honestly, you were one of the first people that reached out, wanting to have a conversation with me in particular. And I think that was important for me to understand, one, the magnitude of, things that I say in my comments and how much weight they carry, no matter if I, am joking or not. But to really honor that in every situation that I put myself in, and for me to reflect on the last week, it's been one of those kind of situations where I've had President Obama reach out. I've had yourself, one other astronaut that really want to educate me on how significant the moon landing was. Obviously, it was real, but in terms of the sense of national pride and how that exploration for mankind has pushed boundaries and limits on what is possible, pushed our imagination for what is what we can accomplish if we put resources in our mind, and obviously guys like you who.
Jalen Rose, it is time for news that matters. Big shout to the Podfather.
No doubt.
At The Ringer, they have added a new podcast called Winging It, hosted by Vince Carter and Kent Bazemore. And on that podcast, they had guests, Andre Iguodala and Steph Curry. And they said something that I literally cannot believe. Let's listen.
We ever been to the moon?
Nope.
They gonna come get us. I don't think so either.
Elon Musk is the
Sorry, I don't
closest
start the
thing we got,
conspiracy.
man.
They ain't been on the moon.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Jalen Rose, please, just please tell me that you believe that human beings landed on the moon.
I'm with Steph and AI on this one.
I knew it.
I'm with them on this one.
Okay, if you're gonna say you've seen the footage.
Let me tell you this.
There's footage.
I see a lot of footage that gets doctored. I see a lot of footage.
Look at that
that's
footage.
not necessarily accurate.
So
or
you're
an a
this
great
is a sound
depiction.
studio. This is a sound studio. That's what you're saying. This is directed by Martin Scorsese.
All right. Here's the thing.
The Photoshop in
How many years?
1968.
How many years ago was that? 50 years, right? So if we were making that level of progress 50 years ago, this is when people barely were watching television, when it was not in color, black and white. Okay, this was segregation was taking place in our country.
What makes you think that we were not on the moon?
Where's the progress?
Okay, Jalen, I went on a cruise once. You know what I'm not doing again? Going on a cruise. They went up to the moon, put a flag up. There's nothing there. Why make the return trip?
There's an individual walking the face of the earth selling real estate on the moon.
Okay.
And what makes it worse is there are people that are buying it.
What makes it worse? There's people like you that don't believe that human beings have been there before when they have the footage. It happened. It's a major accomplishment. It's a major part of our history.
First and foremost, I applaud the great people of NASA and all of the individuals that take time and energy to press the boundaries of what we see.
You're calling all those people liars. You're calling all those people liars.
All that I'm saying is I need to see more information.
Then the footage of it? Oh, well, guess what? You know what those great people of NASA, you just disrespected?
No,
they got some bars for you. They got some bars for you, Jalen Rose.
Give them to me.
They got some bars for you. Here's what my man Alan Boodle said. He said, we have hundreds of pounds of moon rock stored there and the Apollo mission control, talking about Houston. During his visit, talking about Steph, he can see firsthand what we did 50 years ago, as well as what we're doing now to go back to the moon in the coming years. But this time to stay.
Stop it.
Okay, Jalen
Stop.
Rose.
See,
so now you think Alan, you call my man Alan a liar? Look at the camera and call Alan a liar again. I dare you.
I love you, Alan. I'm not calling you a liar.
Yes, you are.
I'm just saying that there's a reason why he studied astrology and I studied mass communications. Like, I don't foresee.
Astrology.
Oh, yeah, astronomy.
Okay.
So listen, bro, so you were recently here in LA at the ESPYs, you know, and generated a little bit of controversy over a picture that you took with Catlyn Jenner, and then you labeled it Bruce Jenner. Some people are like even calling you transphobic, or, you know, what are your thoughts regarding that?
You know, first of all, I want to apologize, you know what I mean, because I didn't mean to call Catlyn Bruce. That was an accident. You know, because the reason I called him Bruce was because, you know, I've been watching him from the Olympics when he won the gold medal. He was a he was a hero, and obviously I'm a fan. So obviously I remember him as Bruce. Me being an Olympian myself as well, being an Olympic champion myself. So when I met him, obviously it didn't cross my mind. You know, I went over, shook Catlyn's hand and said, "Hey, how's it going, Bruce?" by accident. I didn't mean anything about it. I mean, I don't want people to think that, you know, I'm transphobic. I don't like transgenders. You know, I got nothing against them.
For sure, man. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, well, I feel you, man. You know?
For sure. Max.
Yep.
Talk to me.
I don't think this is funny, actually. Like, we can laugh at it, but I don't think it's funny. Steph Curry has college, 3 years of college. Steph Curry's a role model. Kids look up to Steph Curry probably more than any other NBA player. They relate to him. He's not so big. He's not the fastest. He just is talented and works hard and is a great teammate. And I could be like that. They really love Steph. And he's a role model as a result of that. And that's just irresponsible. Like, to feed into those kind of, like when Kyrie Irving said he thought the earth was flat. I mean, that's the dumbest thing a public figure has said in my lifetime. Maybe it's one of them. But Steph Curry not believing in the moon landing, it's not like that, but it's in the same vein. It's like, here's the issue with how much information we have access to now because of the internet. It's great we have access to information, but how do you vet the information? How can you tell the high quality information from the low quality information? The reason foreign governments can interfere in our politics is because way too many people have moved away from fact-based, evidence and toward nonsense and conspiracy theories. And so they're easily manipulated. This is a crisis in the world. Populism is on the rise in the world. Partly it's because of the access to information without the ability to vet it. So when a role model like Steph Curry, I know it seems like I'm making too big a deal out of it.
It does.
Says something as monumentally stupid as he thinks we never landed on the moon, kids are watching that. They're listening to that. It's a scary indication of where we are. And I don't think it's funny. I really don't think it's funny.
Well, it's not a matter of it.